conversation. As students, you are not just preparing for a career, you are also shaping your professional identity. Remember that every post you share, every project you publish, every collaboration you take on, all contribute to the story you are telling the world about who you are and what you stand for. It is interesting to note that in the past, professional identity was shaped by degrees, job titles, and resumes. But today, it is also shaped by your digital footprint. For example, your LinkedIn, TikTok channel, etc. These platforms are not just tools, they are stages for your creativity, your voice, and your values. Dear students, in this digital age, creativity is not optional. It is not. It is essential. It is what sets you. And the good news is that today, creativity is not a gift. It is creating a campaign for social change. Your creativity is very important. And it is the greatest asset, I must say, that you have. However, creativity alone is not enough. You also need clarity about who you are, what you value, and how you want to contribute to the world. That is what professional identity is all about. It is not just about getting a job, it is about building a life that reflects your passions program. And I hope that today will spark new ideas, new connections, and renewed sense of purpose. Let's explore, let's imagine, and let's create together. Thank you very much.
Please, let's clap once again, Professor Charity Sylvia Kotia. We appreciate the thoughts that you've shared with us. Creativity, we need to nurture it, we need to apply it. It doesn't matter which discipline. And they certainly have stuck with all of us. At this point, the School of Social Science are constituted by a number of departments. And we want to take, Mr. Chair, with your permission, on the program they say remarks. Can I adjust it to make it a message? Okay. So HODs, with the permission of the chair, because this person approved freely this auditorium for us. Let's welcome Professor Edward Nketiamponsa. If you don't clap well, he will charge us. So keep clapping until he starts.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Chair and the Planning Committee for making this all-important program a reality in the year 2025. Because I'm just here to communicate a message, I will speak to students from the Department of Economics. To the extent that we have equipped you with a requisite tool.
You are going to join the bandwagon of unemployed graduates, or you are going to deliberately look for a job or create a job yourself. So even though we are creating this opportunity for you and we are just seated here, take it as a vehicle. And this vehicle will be what will take you to the destination you want in the nearest future. And this can happen based on the strategic partnerships you are going to forge today, the connections you are going to build today. So you see all the unsafe conditions, the disasters, and the changes that we are happening within the forestry space, and then the galamsey issues we are talking about. So in the end, he didn't just produce a map, he produced a full report that unearths all the challenges that have landed us in illegal mining, for instance. And that is what we are talking about. Use the theories to bring practical solutions, and then you represent the UG brand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a full message, isn't it? Thank you very much. You know, geography, if you look at the names for the department, that's the longest, and I'm not surprised. Let's welcome Dr. Isaac Owusu-Mensah to represent the head of Political Science Department. Dr. Isaac Owusu-Mensah, right. Okay.
Thank you, moderator. I'm Dr. Yabo Siyama, representing Dr. Isaac Osumensa, the head of department. Thank you. So, standing on the existing protocols, the last presenter, Dr. Mankwa, mentioned that we should use the theories, okay, to make practical solutions. So I'm going to use one theory to advise our final year students and, of course, all the students here present. Now, one important theory is the social network theory. Now, even as you are about to graduate or finish your university, okay, or to complete, the degree is not enough. Social network is very crucial. The people you meet along the way. And my HOD gave me a message that, you see, some of you, you don't even know the names of your floor mates. Is that true? Your floor mates, you might not know. The name of your course mates, you might not know them. Your church mates or your religious mates, you might not know their names. This is bad, and you should have a regret. Okay? But going forward, it is not lost. And standing on the social networks, it is crucial that people you meet along the way, you need to engage them. You need to engage them. Tell them, I'm not letting you go. Do you have anything, any message, any advice for me before I will let you go? And that is crucial. The world operates on the network system to ensure its performance. Let the past be gone. Those who don't know the names of, let the past be gone, and start a new path, as there are people who may hold the keys to your success. Very important. But failure to engage them means that you are not ready to access the keys. Now, coming from the political science department, I'm going to leave you with the definition of politics by Harold Laswell. He says, politics is nothing but who gets what, when, and how. The one who knocks, the one who makes noise. Now, see, I don't have the qualifications, but the one who makes noise, the one who keeps pushing. Sometimes those who are submitted that will make us get the sources of back that we so desire. The next 5 to 10 years are critical for life, and it is more for our careers. So on our student industry meeting, and so the program to run 5 years, the lifetime, I think it's come to stay. It's become an important intervention because it prepares students for what they are going to see next, for their anxiety about the next, but what's happening in my next life. This is where you will have some respite. You shouldn't go out of this school without having been to the SI. So if you have any legacy to leave for your students who are behind you, tell them to go to the SI. Science. That's only one half. The other half is here. Message. Hello, students. Students, enjoy the next one.
Sadutianum, when you mentioned they should connect and get their contact, you saw how the students were excited. And certainly the goal is to connect with each other. Remember, before we started, I asked you to ask the person next to you, please, what is your name? Now I want you to ask the person behind you, please, what is your name? That is where the connection starts from. Please ask the person behind you, what is your name? All right. At least now you have two people you know. You did the one by your side and now the one just behind you. All right. Thank you very much. We want to, at this point, welcome
very much.
loudest. All of them said, let's welcome Professor Alhassan Suleiman Anamdoya, the head of Sociology Department. Please, he's wearing one of the most expensive batakaris I have ever seen. As the over the years, we always hear the term down and that have connected academia and reading. Concern has always been how to increase academia and industry. In order that students more relevant. Has motivated the management of the University of to launch the routine policy of internship intended to increase the number of students who would have done internship while in school. So the overall objective of enhancing the employability of students in this field. I therefore commend the head team putting school industry together. I must also commend Madame Jean for her ability to mobilize these wonderful speakers out here for this meeting, especially in the person of Honorable Ohene, who I must say remains without doubt Ghana's successful political. I wish you all success. Yeah. Thank you very much for making your message a message. Please allow me to number of George, are you here? Please give us a name wherever you are. George is here, George is here. And then my dear brother in security analyst, different platforms, and about Ghana and security issues. Dr. Dr. please, can you give me a round of applause as well? We are happy we all joined in. Mr. Charles, Bisu, another story. Please, let's give you a big round of applause. Thank you very much for making it. And all the other team members who joined. Forgive me if I made it but once I see you, I acknowledge you. But all of you who joined us, we are grateful. I must also mention that we have another big person in our list, another program of plans. At this point, with the permission of the chair, we need to welcome the total of one man. He has a great sense of humor, and that explains why he's always with humor. You know, JTech, when I say JTech, Ghana Tissue and Tissue Commission is not far from the University of Ghana. And of late, we've been chasing those who are using prop. When you ask, what kind of prop are you using? Please, we are one. JTech is academic, but this man is a doctor, and this is a PhD. What is the meaning of PhD? Perpetual head damage. He went through that training. Doctor of philosophy, you must feel it before you get it. His name is Honorable Dr. Stephen Amoa. He's well known, Ghanaian and other economist and politician, MP, member of parliament for Ishiayeso, and we know he hails from KNUST, but he always has to University of Ghana. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Honorable Dr. Stephen Amoa, aka Sticker. Now, let me say, he whispers something to my ears. When you mention doctor, he gives you something. So, all doctor, he gives you something.
good use. There was this word used, pracademic. What information? Now, even when you speak, they change the story. The things you read about most of us, about 90% is not the truth. About 90% is not the truth. I'm telling you. Now they can use AI, use my face, use some frequencies and other software stuff, and I will be saying things that I never said. So I'm begging you, it is how you use what you have that will determine your future. All that I can say is that you are lucky. Unlike probably when we're growing up, you have a lot. Don't heap scorn on these things we are doing. Take advantage, practicalize them, and your future will be great. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Please, let's clap for Honorable Doctor. Honorable, we are grateful for these thoughts. At this point, permit me to appreciate those who have supported this particular program. And it is best done when you are able to do this at the peak moment. While we are ready to hear our special guests of honor's address and also the keynote address, I must say that indeed Sedan Investment has supported us in making this particular program successful. Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, Nana Kumia, Samuel Dankwa, and also the University of Ghana, especially College of Humanities. They've all supported us. Please, let's give all these sponsors a big round of applause. And also, we want to appreciate our media partners who are here. I see all of them here. Please, let's give them a big round of applause in appreciation of what they have done for us. At this point, let me patiently introduce our special guest of honor who is in our midst. In the marriage of Anansiwa, there was a statement that chiefs deserve their appellations, and hard work must be duly appreciated. He is a visionary entrepreneur, a champion of African economic self-reliance. This person we are talking about is a Ghanaian entrepreneur, former member of parliament, and a thought leader whose career reflects a deep commitment to African self-determination through industrialization, job creation, and strategic investment in local capacity. With decades of experience across business and public service, he represents a powerful voice for economic transformation rooted in pragmatic leadership and visionary thinking. Let me, for the purpose of a lecturer, thematize his profile. The foremost part, his entrepreneurial impact. Honorable Agyapong is a self-made businessman, meaning he did not inherit a mountain of opportunity to grow his business. His venture span, I didn't even know he produces plastic containers for many of the mineral bottled water we've been drinking, but I just got to know. He's the founder of Ken City Group, a conglomerate that includes Ken City Media, I'm talking about Net2 TV, Oman FM, Ash FM, Ashanti Steel, Africa's largest single-owned owner steel company, and one of the continent's largest cold storage facilities. His investment has created over thousands of jobs, particularly for Ghanaian youth, making him a vocal advocate for entrepreneurship as a tool for structural transformation. So what this means is that he has the freeness of speech when it comes to talking about how we can continue to empower the youth of our time to support Ghana's development. The second thematic area of his profile, his political leadership and public service. A founding member of the New Patriotic Party, Honorable Agyapong has played a pivotal role in shaping Ghana's democratic and economic landscape. He served in Ghana's parliament for 24 years. I am sure some of our students were not born, Honorable. Some of them were not born. 24 years. Please, let's clap for him. Represented the then Asin North and now Asin Central and chaired key committees, including local government and rural development, and later defense and interior. His political career is marked by bold advocacy for economic nationalism, anti-corruption, and transparent government. Over the years, this is something he's done so publicly to save the Ghanaian purse. He contested for the presidential candidacy of his party, finishing as a runner-up. His campaign centered on restoring discipline, promoting job-led development, and building a resilient and self-sufficient Ghana we want. The third thematic area, thought leadership and vision for Africa. Honorable Agyapong's leadership philosophy is grounded in the belief that Africa's greatest asset is its people. And that is why when we invited him, he said, look, I'll block half of my day just to be with all students. Please, doesn't he deserve a round of applause? He has consistently articulated a vision of Africa that is self-reliant, productive, and globally competitive, anchored by local solutions to local challenges. He is a firm believer in the power of regional autonomy and decentralized governance to unlock innovation and responsiveness across the continent. His lived experience as both entrepreneur and legislator makes him an authoritative voice on the intersection of governance, economic growth, and youth empowerment. Let's look at another important aspect of him, social impact and philanthropy. And Honorable, as I read this one, please, we want to put concrete on this conference. And I am sure as I'm going to talk about another thematic area of him, social impact and philanthropy, Madam Dean is usually shy. She's not saying she needs a vehicle to promote the internship and practicum of the School of Social Science. But I have said it before reading this thematic area. From education to healthcare, Honorable Agyapong has invested extensively in social development. He has personally funded the education of hundreds of students, supported health initiatives, and provided infrastructure to underserved communities. And always his focus is on dignity, opportunity, and long-term impact. Known for his candor, patriotism, and fearless pursuit of change, can continue to inspire new generation of African leaders determined to shape the continent's future. And you are the latest addition he wants to impact. As a philanthropist, he's built a $6 million cardiotherapy center at 37 Military Hospital. He spent about $300,000 at Komfo-Anokye Hospital providing hospital beds, wheelchairs, and fixing broken down scanner. He provided Tamale Teaching Hospital with a 1,000 megawatt capacity generator. He has about 16 companies in all, as I have mentioned. He's one of the few Ghanaians having a steel company, which when completed will employ over 1,000 workers. And this will add up to the thousands, the over 7,000 workers he's already employing. He has the biggest coal store in Africa with 61,000 tons. And that certainly empowered him to give more. And so, Madam Dean, I have channeled our needs to this philanthropist. Please, with a resounding applause, if you clap the loudest, it will touch the hearts. Let's give him a standing ovation and welcome Honorable Ken Ohene Agyapong.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Good morning, distinguished guests, faculty, students, and esteemed colleagues. It is indeed an honor to stand before you at the 2025 Student Industry Conference. I begin by acknowledging Professor Mavis Dakonjeke, the Dean of Social Sciences, for her unwavering leadership. Professor Joseph Autori Yaro, Chairperson and Provost of the College of Humanities, for his tireless pursuit of academic excellence. My young man, Mr. Banasco Seiduno, our keynote speaker and a trailblazer in digital education. Dr. Collins Bedu Ajaman, our scholarly moderator. And finally, to all faculty members, staffs, and students, I say good morning to you all. Indeed, I'm honored as a poor soul born and bred at a village not in the map of Ghana to be called upon or invited to speak to such a guest house. Madam Dean, I say thank you to you for the recognition. Coming here, I had written theses, but my conversation with the provost, I had to change my style. I had a meeting with my team last night, and I told them, you have academicians, professors who can do this job better. So if you limit me to the academic work, it will make no impact or any difference. And when I got here, what the provost said, I said, oh boy, I have to go back. So I'm going back to the old style. I believe that is why the auditorium is filled. I want to give you my background for you to see how lucky you are to be here today. I was born and bred at a village in central region called Asen Dompim. I went to Adsado College from that village. From there to Winneba sixth form, and after sixth form, I went to Germany. In Germany, I was washing plates and also cleaning shops known or called Promat shop in Hamburg. From there, I saved money and went to America. And in America, I first worked at Zaro Bakery. Then I got a gas station. And that time I was working 88 hours a week at the gas station and 40 hours at the bakery. I managed to save and bought my first taxi. Within 7 months, I had 8 taxis. 7 guys working for me and paying $40 a day. So I was making $280 from the drivers, and I was also saving 100. It means I was making $380 a day. there I managed to buy a house at East Legon for my parents. Because my stepfather was an ex-military officer. He didn't save money for the rainy day. So when he went on pension, he had no place to live. They allowed him to stay at his bungalow for 6 months, and he threw them out. When I heard of the news, fortunately, Mr. Zuma Nelson and his manager were in America. So I gave them my first $16,000 in 1988 to deposit on a property for them. And Mr. Asa was very honest. He did that. The actual cost was $24,000. So after the deposit, I gave the rest of the money. That's how they moved. I went on doing business, and I decided to go to university. Why you are lucky is when they said 24 years in parliament, say some of you were not born. I went to university at the age of 33. I had a daughter and a son before going to university, Fordham University in New York. Let me tell you, I had my business here, and going to school over there, the level of dishonesty, my business was near collapse. So the third year going to fourth year, I stopped the university because Fordham University, I was the best economic student. So my professor introduced me to a company called Smith Barney. It was Solomon and Solomon, now Smith Barney. That is where Bloomberg was working. When they came to campus to interview me, they said they were going to offer me $120,000 a year. Whilst they were interviewing me, I had $1,145,000 saved, intact, at a great bank. And Dr. Kranchi was the one who was managing it for me. So I came back home and asked my wife, so all this school, sleepless night, writing 10 papers, I'm going to make $120,000 a year minus Uncle Sam. Whilst the workers here were just misusing the money. I promised my wife, I'm going to manage my business in Ghana. And trust me, one day I will employ doctors, masters, first degree personalities to work for me, and have done exactly that. Today, you can use your IT, the digital technologies and all those things to do something better than what I was doing, because when I was in secondary school, where I got the business trades, was that I was born and bred in a poor home. My mother was massive to teach me how to use fork and knife. Simple. Every student here, whether you're an economic student, sociology, political science, whatever, you should have a vision. So ask yourself, what is your vision? Is your vision going to be, oh, after here, I'm going to look for a job? or have a vision that after here, I'm going to build my business, like my young man here. He was here a couple of years ago, and now I heard him say that he did political science. But from what I read about him, it means he's branched off completely. What that means is you only have to acquire knowledge here. It doesn't matter what you read on campus. It's you, the individual, and your determination. Every individual here should have 5 things. And write it down. The acronym is GOSPA. GOSPA means you should have goals. Every individual should have goals, objectives, strategy, planning, and activities. When you have this, you narrow it down. Ask yourself, you are here. What is your vision? Every person present here should have a vision. Your vision into the future. What you want to become after university. Some of you rise to become managers. Some of you will become entrepreneurs. Some of you will be academia among the professors. But what is your vision? What you want to do? 2, you should have courage. Why do I say courage? You can have all the good ideas. If you are not courageous, you will never be able to implement your vision and dreams. So what I say to young men and women present here is that you should be bold to take risk, and the future belongs to risk takers, not security seekers. I repeat, the future belongs to the risk takers, not security seekers. What do I mean by this? We all have fine ideas. We are working. We are saving money. You accumulate the savings to a point where you have to take bold initiatives to invest your savings. The security seekers are those, with all due respect to professors here, academia, and everybody. Security seekers are those who are afraid to take risk and go and buy treasury bills with their savings. Because the treasury bills is being managed by a bank to give him interest. Have you asked yourself, how much is the bank going to make for them to pay you interest? The risk taker is the one who will set up the business, whether win or lose, and make more money compared to the one who relies on treasury bills. So you should have courage and say to yourself, sky is the limit. Damn the consequence. I'm going to invest this money. If I win, so be it. If I lose, life still goes on. Such people become entrepreneurs. That is where your topic comes in. Creative minds. Creative minds. So if you want to be creative, then you have to take risk. Now let me give you these fundamentals before I even continue with this. First, as students here, you all come from a home parents give you money when you are coming to college. Beginning of your entrepreneurship is when you identify the taste of your colleagues and use your savings to supply them what they need. What do I mean by that? First, whatever money is given to you, you should live a subsistent living and save at least 70% of what is given to you. Don't keep up with the Joneses. What I mean by keeping up with the Joneses is, you are from poor home like myself, and your colleague is from a home that is well known. So when you see him wearing nice clothes, your lender of last resort that parents has remitted to you, you also go and buy what your friend from that rich home is wearing. You are not here to compete with anybody, but to build a future, save the little that parents give you. Fortunately, through digital and technology, when we were hawking on the streets, today you can sit in your comfort room and order hair products. The ladies, sit on your comfort home, go on internet, order hair products, and begin to sell to your colleagues. Initially, you wouldn't know how beneficial you get from that attitude you have adopted. Again, young men, not only the women, the young men, you can go on internet, order from China or anywhere, sneakers, low-cost watches, because you are students, you don't need to wear expensive watch, and begin to sell to your colleagues. By the time you come out of college, you will have a capital that your friend who was buying from you do not have. Again, it doesn't come on a silver platter. You have to be hardworking. Without that, you are not going to make it. We have colleagues who work for 40 hours and they are content. If you want to be an industry leader, you have to work more than 40 hours, no doubt about it. I gave an example where my normal job at the bakery was 40 hours. I took the gas station job as a pump attendant. And friends who were going to parties during the weekend, I took their shift. And in the long run, my senior who introduced me or gave me that job, I bought him a Cadillac because he didn't have anywhere to go. He spent most of his time going parties, enjoying himself. You have to postpone your spending today for tomorrow. That is the savings. And your savings, when you have accumulated enough, be bold to invest it. And one key area to success is integrity. You have to be honest in your dealings. If you are dishonest, you might have the power today to dupe people, but eventually, all what you have acquired illegally, you will lose it. But if you are honest, wherever you are, people will knock at your door because they believe in you. I'll give you one practical example. I bought this plastic company. It's called Platinum Plastics at the free zones. And I had to meet the suppliers. So they came from Belgium, Dubai. And one lady from Belgium told me that I hear you're a very good man. And you are very strong, influential. I want a favor from you. I said, go ahead. And she said she has supplied materials to a gentleman to the tune of $70,000. And for 2 years, he has not paid. He has checked all the records. He's cleared the goods from the port. But the gentleman keeps telling him that he was not able to clear the goods. What I realized was that all the agents, they know each other. So now he has passed on the information to other competitors. And now the guy is blocked. Second example, I have a company, I supply heavy duty equipment to mining companies. A gentleman, I bought 16 ADTs, cost $7 million, which I paid cash. This gentleman took the machines and he never paid. So I took the machines back from him. Just about a month ago, there was a mining conference in Tanzania. The guy went there. He was bragging to investors. I'm the biggest supplier of mining equipment in Ghana, this and that. Unfortunately for him, he said it didn't happen to him in Ghana here, but in Tanzania. He was talking to Dangote's partner, who is into mining and tech. And the partner's son is my son's friend. So they were in Tanzania together. They went and he saw the guy who duped me talking to his friend's father. So I'm the biggest supplier. And he was born in America. So that inhibition is not in him. Oh, fache, no. There and there he told them at the meeting, he's a liar, he's a thief. My father gave him this number of ADT equipment and he never paid. Right there, they cut him off. The man has never met me before. Now he wants me to be his partner in Ghana because of honesty. So it's very, very important if you want to succeed in life. Again, humility. See a lot of rich people here in Africa, especially black people, even in America. See the American basketball players and footballers. When they are going to the stadium, the cars that they use are more expensive than the club owners. Exactly so happening here in Ghana. If you are not humble, this is too personal, I will not mention the name. I went to a young man's house and I saw about 12 cars parked. Then I told him, you work for government. You live in this neighborhood, enclosed neighborhood, who you are. Are you dumb to park 12 cars here? What are you doing with this? You met people here. Before you came, there were people staying here. They saw your house being built. And now you have 12 cars. He is not a minister. He is chief executive. And have 12 cars parked. I advise him, you got to be humble. You are exposing yourself. I don't want to tell you what has happened to him. You know, so you have to be humble if you really want to do business. It is not going about, throwing about, you know, showcasing what you have. If you go to meetings, the billionaires, they come in with jeans and t-shirts and sneakers. It is those of us we call ourselves wannabe. The wannabe, we go there to impress. Then we put on nice suits, nice watch. In the meetings, they don't even look at the watch. They don't have time. When you talk to them and you hear the things they dream and think about, you realize you've wasted your time going to buy all these things. So we have to be humble. Then you should have foresight. You need a foresight. Ask yourself where you want to go, how far you want to go in life. It is important. Anybody without a foresight has no dream. If you have a foresight, you dream. And when you dream big. Don't be a myopic dreamer or thinker. Do it big. Think big. Do it big. And you reap big. Even when I was young, my mother, anytime I go and do something, oh, Kwame, wait there. By the time she is advising me not to do it, I have already done it and paid for it. So you should have a foresight. Then cooperation. This time, you are young. You have to link up with friends, set up a company together. When you put your capital together, you'll be able to come out with a good company than one person starting from beginning. Unfortunately, this side of the world, partnership don't work, but we have to make it work because that's how others have made it. So we need cooperation among ourselves. We don't need negative competition. Competition is important, but it becomes negative when you are envious of your colleague. It's not healthy at all. So these 7 things I've told you: vision, courage, integrity, humility, foresight, and the last one, you have to stay focused. There will be distractions, whether natural or artificial. If you look at the economic trend, because of America and the rest of the world trade tariffs, it is something that you did not foresee that it will happen, but it has happened. You don't have to be discouraged because of what is happening, but stay focused. You aim at a level that you want to attain. And trust me, although what I call, we live in a world where we have multitudinous incarnadine. It's like waves, it goes down and up. When you have this, then comes in the digital. Today, you'll be a better entrepreneur than us because of advancements in technology and digitalization. You can sit here and do business elsewhere. My daughter, who is at Walton Business School, is now here selling chicken whilst he's still working in America. Because of internet, she has a job. She is always on her computer or laptop working, and at the same time going to one of the co-stores. She has taken one of the co-stores selling chicken. Somebody will ask why a Walton Business School student should sell chicken. She did the analysis with my son, and my son told her, if you invest every $14,000 container, you make $12,000. You say, hey, then why am I in this classroom? I'm coming. So now she's working with her brother, although she'll go back next month. I'm only sharing this experience with you that, with digital, you can do a lot of things differently and do business faster than we were doing. You have to be creative. Creative in the sense that when others are using social media to destroy themselves, use social media to market yourself. That's the creative mind you should have. You should be very innovative. And innovation is key to success. Anybody who sits there and is afraid to innovate, you become stale and stagnant. So take advantage of technology and the digitalization. You can create your own platform, sell your products. Professor Namzoya, where you come from, you have a lot of shea butter. It is not only the book. Go there. What will make you different businessman is that you have the knowledge than us, those of us who didn't finish the university. Buy the shea butter, bring it to Accra. I'll give you contact in Botswana, South Africa, and other countries. Students, go on internet, Amazon, Alibaba, take advantage, buy from them. This time, because of technology, digital, you don't even need to travel to China. You just have to source for companies and their products. What is suitable to whatever your vision is, you just order on the internet, which is digital. It arrives. Look at the number of students gathered here. Anyway, clap for yourself. This is the best and the biggest number I have ever seen. And well attended. Let me thank the organizers before I continue. I'm finishing. It's been too long, but I have to share it with them. So, take advantage of digitalization. Don't sit back. This time is very easy. When you are doing business, I sit here. My wife is in America. She had to go for a week. On her phone, she's monitoring what is going on at Ashanti Steel and Platinum Plastics. I sit here in my office, my bedroom, not my office. Or my cousin here doesn't even know that I monitor all the businesses from my bedroom. I'm sharing this with you. This is a secret. I know tomorrow he will try and get to my bed. So technology and digitalization enhances businesses better than what we were doing before. So young men, take advantage of what is going on in the world. You can go ahead and do your masters, but whilst you are doing the masters, you should also be doing small jobs for supplementary income. So when you are here and we're talking of this digital age, it is to your advantage, because the products that I was hawking on the street, now you can put it on internet. You have chocolate, you have raw, you have blade, Tatra, Naz, all on internet, and they will buy it. That's the advantage you have. Instead of walking miles, this time you sit there and you can market your product. Take advantage of that. Be creative. Don't sit there and wait for your parents to give you money every day. So this topic, I thought of it carefully, and all I said to myself, summarize it, and say that digital made business easy. Careful thought. The whole thing, I summarized it and said, digital made business easy. So now business is easy because we've digitalized everything. You only have to be creative to know what you want. Then take advantage of it and work hard. And trust me, sky will be the limit. So, sitting here, all speakers mentioning Kennedy Agyapong, I'm not a magician, I'm just one of you. Just that I work hard. And I don't take no for an answer. When I set my mind on something that I'm going to do it, I make sure I execute it. So I will end here by encouraging you that if Kennedy Agyapong has made it, you at the age of 20, 22, in the universities, you can do better than Kennedy Agyapong. And clapping doesn't mean anything because you finish university. Clapping means I am not going to look for government job. I'm going to sell bread. But this bread, I will sell it in style because of my idea because of the knowledge I acquired on campus. I'll use a different market to sell bread. Who can make me broke? I won't, because I can go to the lowest level and sell bread. All right, can a Japan bread? Pa. Some students who look at you and say, hey, look at him, he's selling bread. But one day, they will see you. That can a Japan bread, pa, has a chain of factories producing bread. You can sell blocks. Put on your jeans, sneakers, go out there. Do something. Forget about the knowledge you've acquired. If you are not getting the job, try and do something. And when you begin to do it, that is when you apply the knowledge. But if you think you're a lawyer and therefore you don't want to do anything, some law firms, with all due respect to them, about 6 months, they will not even have one case. So if I don't go and shout, but now that I'm not shouting, how would you get the money? But a lawyer can do something else. You know. So young men and women gathered here today, I share this for you to know that I started from humble beginning and I'm climbing. I'm not yet there. Because you see me, the way professors are mentioning my name, when I went to the meetings, they say, in Ghana, in a blind man's world, one-eyed man is a king. When you hear the numbers they mention, and Agyapong is nobody. If I'm not bold, I cannot even speak. So I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still fighting to get up there. So I want you to repeat this after me. Say that one day, I'll be somebody. I'll be better than Kennedy Agyapong. Go and work at it. God bless you.
One day, I will be what? Somebody. And Honorable Ken says, be better than him. That is how humble he can be. Please, let's give a big round of applause to Honorable Ken Agyapong.
How many departments do you have?
We have 6.
6. I want 3 from each department for internship.
And I am sure Madam D will say the first 3 who registered for this program. I have not said anything, oh. Madam D, over to you. Please, let's give a big round of applause to Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. If Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong is still learning, what about each one of us? Please, if you are to do a hashtag, SSS Student Industry Conference, what take-home message have you taken from speakers so far? At least did you take note of the gospel? And Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, you are very creative, so the creative mind is still working. And as you mentioned, because the last time I heard of PhD, and that was patriotism, honesty, discipline. And today is what? Gospel, just to motivate all the youth. The goals, the objectives, the strategy, the planning, and the activities that you tie to it. Please take note of all the memorable thoughts shared by our dear business mogul and leader. Don't be a myopic dreamer. Did you hear that? Use social media to market yourself. Integrity, humility, cooperation, and staying focused. Many are the thoughts that have been shared. I do remember the popular saying by Helen Hayes, who said, the expert in anything was once a beginner. He started from a very humble beginning, and he says he's still learning. When he was exiting the lectern, what he said is that, young man, I have done my part, I have left the rest to you. Honorable Ken Ohene Agyapong, in principle, introduced a young man who was just like you, also hailing from School of Social Science, Department of Political Science. Between 2008 and 2012, he completed University of Ghana, Department of Political Science. Now, the food for thought, a political science student, but look at a succinct version of it. So a visionary entrepreneur with a diverse portfolio spanning technology startups, plastic recycling, renewable energy, sports, agriculture, and coffee marketing. He did what? Political science. He's driving his entrepreneurial gusto, and indeed, that is a profound commitment to youth empowerment, community development, digital inclusion, pathways in strengthening especially Ghanaian youth. At the last check, he schooled and schooled and schooled. He's been to Barcelona to school, China to school, UK to school, Nevada to school. Where else haven't you gone to? With this in mind, Bernasco, his exceptional contributions have garnered international recognition through many prestigious awards, including the most recent one, 2017 ICT Champion Award from International Telecommunications Union in Geneva, Switzerland. Then, the Queen's Young Leaders Award from Queen Elizabeth II, Commonwealth Trust in 2016. Young Achiever in Advocacy and Activism 2021 by the Young Achiever Awards. The Northern Excellence Awards further acknowledge his impact, especially with Special Recognition Award in 2022. In 2024, that was not the end. Mandela Washington Fellow was accorded him, and I must say, he's also a politician and continued to support the NPP and even stood as a candidate for Solar Tuna Kalba district in the Savannah region, bringing global exposure to his local development initiatives. Currently, he's the CEO of NASCO Tech. When I hear NASCO, I think of fridges and TVs. But here we are, a political science student now doing great things. We brought him here as a young entrepreneur to tell us how he started, what is he doing, and any brief encouragement for each one of you. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Please, you can share his slides.
I'm very humbled
You can share the slides
to be here with you this morning. Chairperson, Provost, Dean, Honorable Ken, and Honorable Dr. Sticker were in Cape Town last week. I have my lecturers here. I see Prof. Anamzo here. I study sociology as well. I see Dr. Isiama, political science. Poster. Right, so I was here some. When the flyer was shared, a lot of my friends were like, hey, Banasco, today, Honorable Ken will give you a show. Technology and all that are social science students. That is what I intend to do this is now afternoon. If I have my slides, I'll be very glad. So that I just go through them so we can follow. While we wait for the slides, it's imperative for us to understand that as social science students or as social sciences, there are tools in whatever industry or whatever field of academic pursuit that we find ourselves, that you need these tools to upskill yourself to excel and differentiate. What's most important when we talk about your digital identity, it's that value proposition. What do you bring on board that the machine is unable to bring? What are you bringing on board that AI is unable to bring? And those are the creative things that you can bring as a human being, your emotional intelligence as a human being, and your leadership as a human being. Now, the good news is that we all still have time. We hear every day that AI is going to cut jobs. We hear that every day. The good thing is that we have time to catch up with these technologies in our industries. The bad news, however, is that so does the machine. So whilst we are raising time to catch up, machine and AI is also raising to catch up with the time. So the time begins now. Now it's also very important to let you understand that it is not just those of us in the social sciences that are at risk of these AI and machine interventions. Recently, it was in the news that Microsoft laid off about 9,000 workers. That's about 4% of its global workforce. Now, these people comprise engineers, developers, designers, and support staff. So it's not just the political science student, it is not just the sociology student, but it means even people in the tech industry. Now, the World Economic Forum also tells us that AI is estimated to cut down about 9 million jobs in the 2030s. Okay, thank you very much. Now, AI also, the same World Economic Forum also tells us that by that 2030s, AI is going to create about 11 million jobs. So if you do the basic arithmetic, that's a net profit of the job loss and the jobs that are to be created. Now what it means is that there are pathways to which you can earn these jobs. So let me see where I can quickly. Now, so at the end of this 15 minutes engagement with you, I want us to understand that we are going to demystify, like I said earlier, a couple of things. So for example, what does being creative in a digital age mean? Are AI taking over our jobs? Can anyone be creative? What does the future hold for non-tech students like you and I? And as my profile has already been read, I studied political science here, and I went on to study a lot of other things. Now, as I did mention, do understand and know that if you're a sociology student, if you're a geography student, if you're pursuing career in whatever field, there are tools that you need to know and understand that you need these tools to upscale yourself to excel. That you can't do away with. It is for you to identify these tools and how you can maximize these tools. So for example, I have been able to identify a few. So for example, if you look at geography, we have geography information systems. So it means that geography has gone beyond learning plateaus and mountains and oceans to understanding that, okay, there are other tools that you can use. Now, there are also the use of drones for imagery and all that. So you can find a geography student who needs to understand landscapes, but has to go and learn to become a drone pilot to be able to put to ground what you have learned as a geography student. So what it just means is that you are marrying what you learned in school and adapting digital tools to able to deliver on what you have learned. Now, like I did mention, what are the things that we need to all know and understand? Now, it's important that we all know and understand that at this age and time, we all need basic AI fundamentals, if you like it or not. You need basic AI fundamentals. A lot of us are using ChatGPT just for our assignments. You copy and you paint, you paste. You have to even understand how to write prompts, as we have always been said. I mean, basic computer science, or what is a computer? They say you put in information, it processes it and gives an output. And we've also been told that garbage in, garbage out. So whatever you even put in the chatbot defines what kind of a response that you get. So we all need to understand what are the basic AI tools that we can use. If you're a lecturer, how are you able to use AI to administer your classes in such an interactive manner that students can better understand what you say? Now, you also need data literacy. Honorable wants to be president, and we do believe and hope that we need a president like him. And gladly, I know Padre because we studied together. He was my boss at Kofi Annan. I studied with him at Kofi Annan. Now, if I want to be instrumental in Honorable's campaign, then I should be able to go to Padre to give him data, do analysis for him to understand that Honorable needs this information, and that is my trump card. That is what will give me attention. Then he can look at me. So what do you bring on? I mean, our social sciences, I think we all know SPSS and all that. We do those things and we never take them serious. But there are a lot of data tools that we need to understand to be able to do business. So like Honorable was saying, if you are doing business, you need to understand what the figures are. And there are a lot of elementary. All these things I'm talking about for the purposes of the gathering, they are elementary tools that you don't need to be a software engineer, or it doesn't have anything to do with coding. It's just elementary tools that you can learn easily and use it. And I'm very glad that I am the one speaking to you because I come from that background and I'm not from the computer science department, though now I work with them very closely. Now, of course, you also need the soft skills. That's where the creativity comes in, leadership comes in, emotional intelligence comes in. How are you able to keep up with the connections that you have? Like we say in the Gen Z world, what's your vibe? How do you vibe with people? How are you perceived and all that? Then, of course, UI UX. What is UI UX? We are talking about user experience and user interface. Now, when I was asked to come and engage on this topic, one of my assistants at the office, I think he studied Swahili First, Swahili ni day. I also studied Swahili anyway, and the only thing I remember now, unfortunately, is Nina Kupenda. Do we have some Swahili students in the building? Right. So I asked him to design this. Now, what does it mean? It means that you need tools like Canva, even as students, that you can now, everybody say we've moved beyond PowerPoint. So if you are still studying PowerPoint, you are a bit behind. You should hasten slowly to catch up. Now, I asked him to design this, and he used Canva to design this. What it means is that even as students, you should be able to put up presentable presentations, appealing presentations, presentations that are catchy, that are engaging, so that when you go to look for that job, you are able to say that, yes, I can do this better. So you need that UX, and of course, you have to keep learning. There are a lot of online studies that you can take. You should also know how to even use hybrid work. So for example, if you're a designer, you should be able to use AI art aggregators to enhance your work. You should be able to use AI to enhance your writing and all that. Right, so I was talking to you about the Microsoft job cut. Now this is a document that indicates what are some of the jobs that are going to be created once AI makes some other job or roles redundant. Now, what it means is that you need to adapt or acquire new skills, like I was saying, like what is prompt engineering, how you're able to learn design, what are some of the things that in the near future, people like Honorable Ken, when they say bring internships, what are the kind of people that he needs as interns? That is what the next jobs are going to be centered on. Now, so let's look at what the role of NASCO, my organization, is. I take this opportunity to share my story briefly. Now, I was equally born in a village around Techiman called Fianso, and that's my home. Then it was a very nice home. We're very proud because we could receive white people in our house, right? So, I mean, at the village level, I was a big boy. And that is my brother, and he was on the desert. Like many such stories that we have heard, my senior brother unfortunately had to journey that treacherous journey, crossing the Sahara, the Mediterranean, and arriving in Europe. Now, when he arrived, fortunately, among the few, then he was able to finance my education. So coming to the University of Ghana was my first time crossing Kumasi to arrive in Accra. And I remember, yeah, you should clap for me, Annie. I remember the morning, of course, we came with a 9th bus, right? So if you're familiar with the Shiabata area, Dr. Prof. Adamzoya, we came with a 9th bus and we arrived at Achimota. Nobody brought me, of course. I came on my way with my bag on my head. When I arrived at Legon at dawn, I was like, wow, Legon is beautiful. Then at the time, of course, my mother not educated, my father not educated, so nobody in my family cared about what was a first class. All my mother was excited about was that her son was at Legon. And what was most important was that if I returned home after a 4-year degree in Legon, I should be able to pull out a wallet and give her something to buy porridge. So I told myself, I'm not going to go back to my village how I came. That was how everything changed. So I got involved in student activities. I joined associations. I joined committee, hall week committees. I joined POSA. I did, at that time it was SIFE, now Ignactus, and I joined a lot of different, so that I could connect with people, because I was the only one who came from my village. And of course, as you may know, a lot of us from those kind of secondary schools, you come here and you have no classmates or maybe very few schoolmates. So I told myself that, okay, how do I get back tomorrow? And I said that, okay, I can know Palgrave, that perhaps he's from the Boachidankwa family, right? I don't have any family that is known and recognized. So how does he recognize me? And that was how everything started. And this is just to encourage you and also to add up that connecting with people was very important. So when my brother arrived in Europe, he financed my education and I came to Ghana. I mean, University of Ghana. Now, at the time, I was in Tamasco. Those of you who are familiar with Tamasco at the time, we had a computer lab, and we only had access to the computer lab 1 hour, I think in 3 weeks or so, because like there were a lot of classes and everybody had to go there. So when I came to Legon, yes, the ICT directorate is right behind here. They gave us, I think, 1 hour. I don't remember whether it was a day or a week. 2 hours. Yes, so you had your student ID was, you could access the center with your student ID and you use the facility for 2 hours. Now, I go around, those of my brothers from Y and Tamale who did not feel comfortable with the computer, then I go get their ID cards and I can exhaust my 2 hours, exhaust Ibin's 2 hours, exhaust Rashid's 2 hours, and I can spend more time there. And that is how I developed love for the computer. And whilst I was still a student here, we set up this foundation called NASCO Foundation. The whole idea was, how do we go back to our community to give to the kids what my brother didn't get? Because my brother tells me, if he knew what it was to go through the desert, he would not have gone there. So it means that information was very important in decision making. Information was very important in the 21st century. So all we could do was to give information to our young ones back home. So whilst I was here, I was taking computers. Then, of course, he was in Barcelona, as I mentioned. I was taking computers to Solar Tuna Calva in the Savannah region, close to the Moli National Park, to set up computer labs. And I'm very glad to say that today, we have 17 established computer centers, including what we have here at the University of Ghana at the Political Science Department. Now, as a serial entrepreneur or as a tech entrepreneur, I came to realize that, okay, we're establishing computer labs and teaching kids digital literacy. Then we came to understand that digital literacy was not just a skill, but a lifeline to opportunity, innovation, and self-belief. Now, what it meant was that more young people were then trained to become software engineers. How do we utilize these new software engineers that we have developed or we have trained? So we went back to Spain to tell the organizations, the companies that were giving us the computers. Well, at that time, I was receiving some funding, and I could travel to Spain and back. So, I mean, life was starting to get good. Then I was starting off making money. So I went back to the companies, organizations, to tell them that you provided us with a lot of support to train young people. Now we have enough young people that are skillful enough, that are creative, that can work for you remotely. And COVID came to amplify that narration. So initially, the companies gave us roles, not because they believed in our talent, but because they saw it as a corporate social responsibility. Let's do it for the optics. Because the narration was that, okay, if my brother went to Europe through the desert, now we are creating opportunity back home so that we don't get kids going like my brother did. So we are offering education. Now, to close the cycle, we needed to offer them jobs to stay in Ghana, eat banku and tilapia, eat gobe, whilst working for the foreign companies. So in 2021, when I lost my elections in Solar Tuna Calva, and I wasn't given any appointment, I wasn't appreciated, I started thinking, how can I create value for myself? So we are proud to say today that we do not only work for Spanish companies, but we work for one of the biggest banks in Spain, Banco Santander. And 2 weeks ago, the bank invited us for one of their events, and I had the opportunity to meet the Queen of Spain. Now, because my brother received an award from the royal family called Princess Girona for social programs. So the royal family knows our story, so I had the opportunity to hear the Queen say, Banasco, we hear your story and we appreciate you, and it was a very proud moment for me as a young person. So if you come to my office today, that's not a lot. Maybe the government is doing bigger numbers, but I have a solution that trains young people. They are there learning today as we speak. That after training, we are able to assign them remote works. And every month, I mean, I think that the government should also credit some of by bringing in a lot of foreign exchange. That's why the CD is gaining traction. Now, how do you develop your professional identity? I mean, very simple. Sometimes you hear people say, I'm looking for a job. You tell them, what can you do? They say anything at all. There's nothing like anything at all. So how can you be creative even in your job search? So, for example, if Honorable says, bring me your CV, And you, instead of submitting the document CV that we all know, you submit a 2-minute video about yourself, telling him in the video who you are, what your skills are, and in the video you can even insert clips that demonstrate what you are doing. So for example, maybe if you say you are this, you are this, you are this, then there are clips showing that if you say you're a poster president, there should be a clip of you interacting with students as a poster president. If you say you're a social worker that was even on field to do some work, there should be a clip indicating that you went on a volunteering on the field and it is there. So that in that 2 minutes, you submit that video to him, because of course, if he will tell you the truth, if you send him a CV with qualities, you put all those qualities. You put duties of what you did as NSS, he wouldn't read them. But I believe that if you send him something else, a 2-minute video, he will watch and be like, wow, and that's what is creative about what you set yourself apart from every other person. Now, we have already said that being tech savvy doesn't mean that you should learn coding, but to understand that there are digital tools that you cannot mess up with, you need to know them. Now, we talk about social media every day. Not too long ago, there was a video making rounds on social media. Was denied entry to the US because of something she had posted. Now, I take this opportunity to invite you to the many training programs that we offer you. So I have not just come to talk. Honorable came to inspire you and invite CVs or people as interns. I'm also inviting you to take advantage of our training programs at the University of Ghana Department of Political Science. We have a lot of interesting programs that you can take, AI tools for productivity. We have Google Workspace programs. We have Canva for design and all. We have a lot of interesting tools available for you to register and take them, and they are free. We are also a Cisco certified academy that you can take Cisco certified programs and get certificates for them, and they are free. It is there for you, it is there for us, and it is there for us to make impact. If you do not hear anything, if all I said, you don't remember any of them, one thing that I would want you to go home with is that whatever field that you find yourself, if you are a nurse, you should be able to use tools to help you in patient diagnosis. If you're a teacher, if you're a lecturer, if you're a student, whatever career path that you choose for yourself, there are tools available to upskill you that will make you more efficient and that will differentiate you, and that is your digital identity. That is your value proposition. I thank you so very much.
Please, let's give him a big round of applause. He was just like you, and now making great things to support all of us. Please, let's clap for him once again as he takes his seat. Benasco, we are very grateful for how you have used your life story to impact all of us. Indeed, the benches our mom and dad and the family were sitting on, each one of us can resonate very well with those particular settings. And I'm sure when you look back, we are all just like Benasco, how he started. We've all been like Honorable Agyapong, as he shared with us the village where he started from. But one thing is, he continued to learn. We want to take the last part for this morning, after which we will take a break, and then we will continue with the rest of the program. We couldn't have left our senior man who is working with many young ones to go. This man, I must say, is a very proud alumni of this great university of ours, University of Ghana. He received his secondary school education at Binkum Secondary School way back, and then later enrolled at the University of Ghana to pursue a Bachelor of Arts in English and History. So your dean is here, and your provost. He continued to do a Master of Arts degree in Public Affairs. He continued to do a Master of Arts degree in Public Affairs, still within the same school. So, Madam Dean, you are looking for your alumni. One of them is close by. Now, alumni. One of them is close by. Now, on the political front, this man we are talking about has relentlessly served his political party, the current National Democratic Congress, in several capacities. Between 2009-2012, he was appointed as the assistant at National Service Secretariat. Currently, we see a number of innovations that are coming in just to augment what has already been done. He's going to work with many of you for the next months to come. Immediately you complete, especially those in level 400s. What else can he continue to offer? What do they need from each one of you? What can you do so that you can benefit the year of learning during your national service? Please let's welcome our dear brother, Mr. Felix Jamfi.
Good afternoon. I like to say that when the University of Ghana invites you or somebody like me, who I'm proud to say has been molded completely by this university, regardless of whatever you're doing, you'd have to stop and come. We are very proud of what the university has impacted in us. And I would like to say that it is based on the pride I carry from the University of Ghana that has imbibed in the spirit and the work that we're doing now at the National Service. I was looking at the title of the program. I was a little bit confused whether I am invited as the Director General of the National Service Authority so that I come and speak to you about National Service, or indeed about, in my own capacity as Felix Jamfi. But then I like to say that I'm more known as the Director General of National Service than in my private capacity, because until my appointment, very few people know me or what I do and that sort. Indeed, I would have liked to speak before the Venerable Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. He is somebody who really inspires all entrepreneurs in this country. I would have liked to say so much that I wish him well, but coming from the other side of the political divide, I'll still say I wish him well in a way. But I'd like to go on the existing protocols and say briefly about what is happening at the National Service Authority now, of course, in relation to the new graduates that are coming to the world of work. As you already know, the National Service is a school to work transition program. Since I have worked there for several years, I think this August will be my 15th year. Indeed, in spite of my work at the National Service, I have worked with friends and built a company on the side of my service, my work as a public servant, and I built a very strong company that has seen us build structures at virtually every part of the country. So there's no part of this country that I don't know. I'd like to say that it is from that knowledge that has given me the strength to lead in the manner that I'm leading at the National Service at the moment. When we took over in January, we had, just close by Papao here, we had about 2,500 capacity of beds. Within the last 4 months, we have built up to 100,000 bed capacity just by Papao here. From just one farm today now, we have farms in about 11 regions, about 20 sites, where we are planting about 8,000 acres of maize in different parts of the country. I say this to reflect my path in where I want to take National Service to. And my my direction of where I want the service to go falls completely in tandem with where we are as a country. And then, of course, as in the context of our socio-economic development, the Ghanaian youth can no longer play a second fiddle in the context of the world economic order, where we consumed imported foods and then work, and then we only work to change our money to go and buy food. It defeats our purpose as human beings. We can no longer let that happen to us. We have to take the bull by the horn ourselves and chart our own course as individuals in this world. How do we do that? And I would like to be very brief so that the program can move on. In the field of agriculture and agri-tech and agribusiness, I like all graduates who are finishing school this year begin to think about the opportunities in agribusiness, agriculture, and agri-tech. We're a country that is importing about roughly 20 million Ghana cedis, dollars worth of tomatoes. We're importing rice in excess of 300 million. We're importing chicken, over $400 million a year. Yet, the majority of us are finishing school and staying at home. We do not need anybody to tell us to connect the dots. We are the source of our unemployment. I remember when we first took in our first 10,000 beds in March. The moment we put the beds were ready for the market, a big company wanted to offer us 48 Ghana cedis per bed. And I look at the numbers and I say, well, this can't be, it cannot work out. Because obviously we are being undercut by chicken coming from abroad. So we decided, we sold the first 4,000 to them and now decided to go in the market and look for our own market. And I tell you, we sold each of the beds now for at least 80 Ghana cedis. Majority of them were sold for 100 Ghana cedis. Now, this is what has happened. Practically, this is what has happened. Now, we invited young graduates who did marketing and from different backgrounds to sit down and see how do we sell these beds. So because of the experience and the experience we had from selling these beds, we know immediately that we would be able to sell 100,000 if we produce them, because we know the market exists. Now, in the last few weeks, based on that experience, I have employed 10 people more on contract. And then for those who are taking care of the beds, I'm telling them now that if you're able to take care of 5,000 beds successfully as a group, after paying for the beds, after paying for the pens and all other expenses, for each bed, I will give 5 Ghana cedis. The calculation came to 6,000 Ghana cedis per person for the 6 weeks. Look, that is more than my salary as a director who has worked as national service for 15 years. So we should know where the jobs are. The traditional jobs that we looked out for, having come out from the universities, are dwindling. And they are dwindling so fast. And what is shocking to know is that although we share the same space with people in America, TikTok, WhatsApp, and Facebook, the lives we have here and what they have there is distinctly different. We cannot mimic them. We have to work hard. Look, on maize, we thought that, you know what, if we have the chicken, we're going to take care of the birds and then sell them and get jobs for people in poultry. We cannot do that without maize. So we received maize and planted them all over the country. Now our calculation is that in every 6 weeks, it is possible to put 100,000 beds in the market and sell them, and of course, cuts away importation. Imagine the Ghanaian economy receiving $300 additional million in this country. Can you imagine what it would do for jobs for young people, for our businesses, and for our famous CD? And this is where I think we should begin to focus. Of course, there is no doubt about the Ghanaian graduates' capacity in virtually all fields, either in tech or creativity. We are creative, we are smart. You know, when I go to our farms at night, our people are staying over to get work done. With the right leadership, the Ghanaian graduates can work anywhere in the world. But the thing about it is that our self-doubt, as Honorable Agyapong spoke so well about, we carry such a self-doubt that becomes destructive to our own selves. If you come to national service now today, about 14%, only 14% are accepting postings to the private sector because everybody wants to go to Cadbury, Cocoa Board, Nestle, and all these places. For those people, for the 14% who accept postings in the private sector, it takes them roughly 3 years to 3.5 years to get to work after school. But for the majority, 80-something% that accept postings or are forced national service to post them into public places, who have no chance of learning any skill because of the overwhelming numbers and sitting down under trees and have to go to work every week. When they finish national service, it takes them 10 years to find work. When all the trouble at national service goes over, what I will do is to put out the data about what national service has been doing probably the last 10 years. We can no longer afford to do things the way we've done them before. These days, time moves on so quick, also because of digitalization. You have to find your spots and grow it, no matter how small, and make sure that you perfect it and move on with it. We are offering several opportunities in agribusiness and agri-tech for new, fresh graduates to come on board so that we change our destiny. Because if care is not taken and we don't change our position, the reality is that most of us will end up in poverty in spite of our education. Honorable Agyapong was talking about his days in Germany. When I left Legon in 2003, it was a different world. You know, it was very easy to get visa to travel abroad. So most of us ended up in London and all those places. My first work was also washing bowls in London. And then the first thing I realized was that as a Ghanaian graduate, I was too slow. You know, they give you work to do, the speed with which, and the alacrity with which you do things. So I worked with German. And then if he says, you know what, I have to meet him, I think 5:05 at a certain place. If you miss by 2 minutes, you know, the trouble you go through before you find transportation to get to your workplace. Nobody told me not to miss him. I remember so well, there was a point in my walk to the train station where I joined him to work. If I get there and I look at my watch and it's by a certain time, I know I have to jog. So most times when I get into his car, I have lost breath, so I can't say anything for like 5 minutes because I have to catch my breath. When I got back to the country, look, there's no part of this country that I haven't built. So I work with engineers, I work with quantity surveyors. If you give me a building plan, and then you don't know, in spite of my background in history and English, if you give me a building plan, I will be able to tell you everything in the plan. So another thing that we have to do is like what Honorable Agyapong said, to be courageous. We have to look beyond the traditional courses that we did. Indeed, the consultants, several consultants that I have worked with in the several government ministries that I have built for and all that, they were surprised to see me in a political position because I never said anything about what I do behind the buildings that I do. Because I have built, during the previous government, I built some huge buildings, and then I have built in the previous NDC government as well. What you have to do is to be able to prepare yourself. I remember a story that we were told just last week that one of the graduates that we had, who had accepted to come under a project under the MasterCard Foundation project that we were doing, was that she didn't want to touch the chicken and the poultry because, you know, to her it's too dirty. And rather she should be made to observe what is going on and be paid. I'd like to suggest to you that that world is gone. You'd have to work. There were several mornings that I was late for meetings and all that. And then until recently, I would get on a motorbike, as dangerous as it is, to get to where I have to go quickly. You know, I go to, the timber market. If you go and you see the people who are making millions from us in our metal and welding industry, but they are not Ghanaians. They are from Niger, Mali, and the industry that they have built at timber market. You would think that you live in another country, and rather, we work for them. We are on fixed salaries, and they are making millions. Look, how many of us, and I'll finish in a minute, how many of us on our own as top graduates, having come out from the university, working in very fine offices, can sign a check on $1 million Ghana cedis or in hundreds of thousands of dollars? Ask any of these people in these places. When they mention 100,000 to you, and you don't ask them what denomination they are talking about, excuse me, you'll be fooled. So I would like you, or I'm inviting you, to now think outside the box and be creative. Not only in the digital space, but in real life. For those of you who are level 400, when you live here, it is game over. Probably the next time you see your friend that you were so close to would probably on social media or something. So begin to see yourself as an individual, and you really have to make a mark. Thank you so much.
Please, another round of applause for our dear brother and Acting Director General, National Service Authority. We are very grateful for the many transformative initiatives that you've also brought to bear to augment what we have already done at National Service Authority. I must say many of us young ones here may be very happy to benefit from all these arrangements. And you've mentioned a number of things. If touching the chicken is dirty, then I'm thinking of one of the richest men in Ghana, WWW. What does that mean? Waste, worth, wealth. Zoom Lion. And it's just about outside and what is there. So we need to change our mind. And that is why we are talking about what? Creative mind. Mr. Acting Director General, one of the students just sent me a message. Many of them have business ideas and others. Within their national service period, what else can we do to support these ones who have business ideas? And I must say, having taught SME over the years, perhaps National Service Authority, we can start thinking about consultancy aid. If I have a case and I don't have a lawyer, there is legal aid. What about those who have business ideas, proposals, and others? If we have consultancy aid in all the regions, you'll work along with the business schools in all the institutions. Perhaps you can provide free consultancy on accounting, business proposition, business research, market research, and what have you. And these are all areas we can also touch on free of charge, support these NSS team who may have these ideas. By the time they are done with their 1 year of service, they may transform these ideas into actualities. So thank you very much for those thoughts you've shared with us. At this point, we want to welcome the provost just to give us his part one of the wrapping up. After that, we have the next 30 minutes for Professor Wiafe and then Yebu Esiama to conclude with their brief presentations. Then item 13 and scanning that you were here will continue. So let's welcome the provost.
Thank you very much, AB. So you have heard, so I won't attempt to summarize, but very critical aspects are that life is real. After school, it's no longer papa and mama. If that is a case, these very seriously, build ourselves, and now every evening is close to myself and Prof. V's house, selling banku and tilapia. She started with probably 5 customers. She has 20 to 30 customers every evening, and she is making a salary more than a full professor. And she's not interested in going to work for Department of what? Whatever, welfare. So the dirty chicken thing, you can make banku, will come and eat and make you rich. But beyond that, Ghana cannot develop if we have youth who are not honest, who are not sincere. Honesty, sincerity, or who are thieves. We have a lot of people who are tempted to steal. A lot of you sitting here will be employed by people, and you look at money and you would want to steal. And before long, you'll be stealing small. A national service fellow that I sent to a company stole 270,000 and used it to bet. He never used it for anything. He was betting so that he would become a richer man like Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. Please, we plead with you. You can't develop yourself. Once you start stealing, when you establish your own business, people will steal you down. You wouldn't also go anywhere. So the youth, when you get out, let's aim. If you are lucky and you get a good job, fine. If you can't, create one yourself. If you join someone, help the fellow grow, the fellow will also help you grow. Now, our businessmen are also beginning to learn that. If you ask any Kennedy Agyapong, will tell you that, yes, in the past, many businessmen will keep you at the same salary. Now, when they see that you're moving, they move you up. You will become rich of them. You won't stay at the same place anymore. So on this note, I want to thank our external guests who have come here, who have shared their experiences with us. And as you can see, none of these people can be classified a lazy fellow. None of them. I don't want to believe that it is people who were born in 1990s upwards who are lazy, right? If I tell Kennedy Agyapong that I worked 17 hours a day for 8 months before I returned to Ghana, I'm sure he rhymed, with that. For some of you, I'm sure you say it's impossible. So when do you sleep? When do you bath, right? 17 hours I work, 1 hour I use for bath, right? And then I use 30 minutes to bath and eat and sleep. So that means that I slept for only 4 hours every day for 8 good hours, for 8 good months, because I knew I was coming back to Ghana, so who cares? And when I came back to Ghana, until Kufuor, I was a billionaire. Then after Kufuor, I became a thousandaire. All right, so thank you very much, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. Thank you very much, Bonasco. Thank you very much, our National Service Director. We are very honored to have you, and the students would want to shake your hands and take some selfies with you. So as a result, we'll take a photograph now, and then people can get up and stretch their legs, or else you will have some cramps soon. And then afterwards, we give you a taste of the disciplinary aspects that you will translate into your life for a short while, and then you have your lunch or your lunch packs and go away. So please, after the photo session, don't go away. Use it to exercise yourselves whilst, and then we sit back for 30 minutes, and then the rest of us will tee off Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and then reconvene. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Provost, for sharing this meeting for us. So can we have the photography team? We will have members on the platform here. We will take our photograph here. After this first one, all the heads of departments and also directors who are here, deans and directors who are here, you join the second picture taking. Then all the invited colleagues and entourage who came, please, you join us on the platform. Then I'll beg of you, all of us will stand here, face the audience, and then all our students will be behind us. Then we take that last set of photos. So please, may I ask you to stand, and we'll have the first one. Can we have all the heads of department, directors, and deans who are here? Please join us here. Please, can we come down because of our dear sister? Yes. Okay. Please, you can go up. Yes, and stand. Yes, you can. Please. Yes. Please come. Prof. Akotia, please, we want you to join. Prof. Wiafe, please join us. Yabu Esiama, please join us as well. Yes. Professor Yabu Esiama, please join us. Yes, please, all of you. Yes, Dr. Yabu Esiama.
Better me ranks.
Please, let's keep standing. All the entourage who came with Benasco, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, please, we want to have all of you join us upstage. And then, please, all of you join us, please. Yes, faculty members, Prof. Afrani, all of you, please join us here. Yes, yes, faculty who are here, please. Good, great. School administrator, join us. Damaris and co, all of you, please join us here. Join us here. I beg of you, please, let's turn and face the panel. And then all students, may I ask you to stand? Please stand. We are facing you and we will have your beautiful one. Honorable Ken mentioned this is a well-attended program and he's very much excited. Honorable Ken, may I ask that you come forward a little bit? Just a little bit. Okay, good. Yes, please, faculty, all of you join us here, heads of departments. Let's join. Let's join here and then we will take the very last one. Yes. Okay. Please, all students, throw your hands in the air and make some noise. Students, please take your seats while the provosts lead the entourage. Please take your seat calmly, gently. Take your seat and let the provost and the university management follow the protocol. Please take your seat. Take your seat. You have it.
It's supposed to be here, and it comes from one load, and how do I know?